this makes me feel like I'm more important than what I really am. That is this binder, but I have to tell you why. When we formed the committee in Muse, it was in the year 2001, in order to vent our frustrations about homes and yards that were neglected. This was the first article, that appeared in the Washington Observer in 2002. It was because our committee went to work on it. And the committee was started by Linda Tonelli, who's sitting over there next to me. So anyways, we formed a committee. I could go on, but I'm going to make this very brief. We had committees, we had as many as 20, 30 people, clear back in 2001. And we did everything we could. We came to the supervisors meetings. We had town hall meetings. And anyways, we are now in 2015, and the only difference between 2001 or 2 and 2015 is instead of having about 10 homes and properties that were horrible, we have about 18 or 19. So, I'm basically telling you a little bit about the organization. Many of the people that were on that committee are deceased, and many of them are still around, but they come to me and they say, I ask them, come to the meeting. They say, what for? Nothing has ever been done. You're wasting your time. So, anyways, well, I went through all of this book here, the binder. This is the history of the committee that Linda put together. It's in great detail. Well, anyways, Linda and I, about 3 weeks ago, we took a ride around Muse, and we listed all the places that were neglected. And I might add that the list that we made needs some clarification. This is the list. I brought it down to the Township building. The reason I say some clarification is because some of these homes we definitely know are embarrassing. If you live in Muse and you have to go up a road and have visitors see some of those homes, you would be embarrassed as well. But some of these homes are rentals. And if the house is halfway falling down, the owner will rent it just to get the money. They could care less about repairing it, remodeling it. Now, some of them do. There are those that do. But some of them could care less. So on the list, there are some of them that bought the other side of the duplex. Some of them fix them up and rent them. And I will say, there are those that they buy the other side and they do fix it up, except it may take 5 to 10 years. So no one lives there. I don't know why. It could be financial. It could be they don't have time because they have other professions. So anyways, that's the bottom line here. I don't know. We were told during the course of the meetings that they would have to change the ordinances. That is, the township would have to change the ordinances. And I believe, and I could be mistaken, I'm not sure, the township has had already 3 ordinances concerning these problems. And every time we complained, they said, oh, we have to have an ordinance for that in order to do something. Well, nothing was ever done. We had the last meeting that we had at the fire hall in Muse, Patty Salandra, who's no longer with us, she vented her frustration because a house below her has trucks that were going in and out all hours of the night, bringing in all kinds of items. She said some of them were even probably classics that people would want to buy. She said, I don't know, they blocked the traffic in the alley where she was living. And when Elizabeth heard her, she said, well, I'll have to take a ride and go see because I like antiques. Did you ever take that ride, Elizabeth?
Yes, I did.
Did you buy the antiques?
I didn't get out of the car. My husband wouldn't let me.
No, that's how bad the yard is. And it's worse now. It's worse. Well, anyways.
There were interesting things in the lawn, but it was bad. I understand.
And it isn't that we just took a ride 3 weeks ago for our first time. We have been doing that. And I'll tell you right now, I will never come back and address the issue because I give up. I don't know how anything can be done. There was just a couple and that's it. There was a gentleman that bought a house in Muse, has to be just a few years ago. He remodeled the side, that is the one side, he remodeled it. Really nice. The other side, whoever lived on the other side, had a yard that was a disgrace. He put up a 6-foot fence all around his house. Completely. And this is what I was told. A policeman went up there and told him that that was against the ordinance. A 6-foot fence. And this young gentleman that had that house, he said, well, you tell the neighbor to clean up the yard and I'll take down the fence. That was his reply. Then, it's not only some of the homes and the yards. I will say this. Why? I don't know. This summer, the homes that are really abandoned or not rented anymore, they're cutting the grass. Why? I don't know. There's a house below me from where I live. The trees cover that you can't see the back of the house. And the house has black tar paper on the roof. On the other side, they used buckets to collect the water that was coming down. And I just can't, I don't know. Right now, the bank took over the one side. They came, I saw them, I talked to them. They cut the grass and everything. But that's not a solution either because on the same street, there is another home. The bank took over, but it's in pretty good condition. Nothing else ever happened. So I don't know what the ordinances are right now, if they, or whose responsibility is it to put the ordinance into effect in order to make these changes. But it's very, very frustrating, it's embarrassing, and that's really it. I just can't understand why our township can't do something in these, what used to be the coal mining towns. In our town, we had one coal bin. They're wood. When you put the coal in the 50s. And the one side, they decided to tear their side down, which was great. The other side, they told the neighbor who owns the other side, how about if we tear it down, we'll do it for you for nothing. He said, oh no, my son-in-law keeps all his junk in there. Now, what I would like to know is, I don't know where he lives now, it used to be South Fayette. I wonder if South Fayette allows that. I wonder. I really, really do.
Yeah. I mean, not to interrupt you, we totally agree with you. We've been in the process of trying to hire a code enforcement officer. 3 of us, DJ, Andy, and I interviewed a number of candidates. I thought we selected one. I recently read in the manager's report that we are apparently re-advertising. I don't know where that stands at this point, but in order to get that, to take care of that, we need a code enforcement officer. So until that position is filled, which hopefully will be soon, we can't do anything. Although, Dawn, who's taking the calls right now?
Bob, I'm going to say something.
That's a shame.
I brought this issue up like 2 months ago. We now have a property maintenance ordinance, do we not? We do, okay. Which should solve some of the problems. My issue was homes that are in such disrepair that they should be destroyed. I think you probably know what happened, or what's been going on with the Cheney business for a number of years, and we're right back where we started, in court, I think. We've wasted a lot of money over 3 years and got nowhere and did nothing. Now, I think that something is now going to start to progress. But I knew that there were other homes, not only in Muse, but in Hill Station and in all of the mining camps.
I understand that because in this article that I showed you, Tom made a statement. He said, well, it's good because Muse will be the first one and they'll set an example to go to the other places. And then when you ran for election, there were many people in Muse that voted for you because you told them you would do something about it. And here's where we are.
Well, I think we are trying to address the problem. Like Cindy said earlier, our code enforcement officer left and went to work in another township. So we are trying to replace him at this time, and we have interviewed for it. I think we need to get a strong person in there as your code enforcement officer, but like Elizabeth said, we now have some things in place where when they're cited, they have this board they can go to appeal, but we can get things done and get them processed a little bit faster and move forward with it.
Well,
it's taken a while to get to this point, but we are working in that direction.
My personal opinion would be that we do not re-advertise, that we hire from the 3 people that we interviewed. I think there was a strong candidate who, I know that certain people on this board don't agree with me, but I think that we need somebody who's going to take care of the problems, and my personal opinion would be we don't waste time and taxpayer money re-advertising again, only to find out that no more people applied and we're still choosing from the same people. But I'm one member of it.
And it's the same with cars. There are cars over there that have been there for years. They're neglected. They don't have tags. And I don't understand. My neighbor had a car. She had abandoned it, and then I'll stop. And she didn't have the money. I know she did not have the money to have the car taken away. The policeman went up after 2 years, I think it was, and he's not wrong. He told her, you have to get this out of the way, and it wasn't bothering anything. Yet there are other cars galore, and it's a mess. It's where the boarding house was. There was a young guy.
Our police can do something about any of the cars that are not that don't have updated registrations.
Yeah. They don't have registrations on them. I mean,
She had a question.
Excuse me.
Are there many?
On April 18, 2002, 3 amendments, 3 ordinances were amended. One on noxious weeds, one on property maintenance, and one on abandoned vehicles. And none have been acted upon since 2002 or prior to.
Was there a code enforcement officer then?
It doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter.
there was a young guy, I don't know where he was from, he came with this old car. It's an old car that needed work. The sticker had expired because I looked at it. He parked it in the parking lot where the boarding house used to be. It was there for 2.5 years. He shifted from this side because you could see the license plate. He shifted it on the other side so that you couldn't see the license plate.
Is it still there?
No, that's what I'm getting at. He came this past summer. He took it away. I saw him. I happened to be there because I go on that street off of my little sister's place there. And he finally took it away.
Are there other cars in use?